Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and it's day 6 for Scrap Timber 2022. And today our prompt is fussy cutting. And I have this Good Day Sunshine collection from Echo Park, and all I have left is scraps. Now, to be honest, I pulled this out to create this layout for day 19, which is scraps, spoiler alert. But after I ended up fussy cutting some things that I wasn't anticipating, I decided I would go ahead and use it for that. So this is all I have left of this collection, you all, and I'm really excited because my goal is to get some of my stash bashed and completely used up. So I have that. I did bring in a white cardstock, and I'm documenting this adorable picture of my boy and my nephew, and they're having a lemonade stand to raise money for their school. So of course I brought in the squeezed lemonade. Sweet Rush, I'm just going to use this stamp and maybe one of these little stamps over to the side. And also I brought in some Lucky Clover, I think is what it is. Yep, Lucky Clover, and it's a distress oxide to do a little splattering. So I've got my papers and some embellishments. I've got the stamps, my picture, and I hope to use this up. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I decided to scrapbook this picture that I knew I had. I'm documenting 2018 right now. I'm also documenting 2022, but I'm trying to use as many 2018 pictures for scrap timber and then in October for 30 days of sketches so that I can get both of those months done. So if I did them every day, that would be 61 of my 104 projected layouts for 2018 that I would get done. So that makes me happy. Plus I had a few already created. So anywho, so I'm trimming this out because I really would like to use there's a border that has the lemonade stands on it. And then there's this cut apart that I've cut first that says Summer Sweeter with You, and it's got lemons all over it. I don't typically, I'm kind of themey, not always, but, my normal scrapbooking is themey. So putting a lemon on a page that doesn't really fit seems strange to me sometimes. And sometimes it really depends on my mood, to be 100% honest. So I take my picture, trim it down just a little so I can even it out and get the boys right in the middle. And that gives me just enough of a space to put this very thin, very, very thin red and white border around. And it actually falls a little short, but I take care of that. I don't think you may or may not see me do it on camera, but there's a little piece down there at the bottom, and I'm just going to take that piece, and there we go. Yep. And that's super easy since part of that's going to get covered over anyway. And honestly, knowing it's there, I'm looking and I still can't see it. So that makes me pretty happy. And I want to bring that red in because there's the cherries that are in that Summer is Sweeter with You cut apart that I am definitely using. And I decided since I had a bunch of cut aparts, I would also try and bring in the Good Day Sunshine because it's got the bright yellow and the blue. So it's obviously going to really work with this the 4x6 with the lemons on it. So I have decided that I'm going to matte my picture, and originally I thought I might matte it on top of that Good Day Sunshine so it would get a yellow border, but just really thought I like that it has the same colors other than the red in it. So I'm going to use them, and I'm thinking I'm going to use them just like this. That is not how they end up, I promise. But I've used another cut apart to matte my picture, and now I'm thinking, I'm going to matte these two cut aparts with other cut aparts. So this is definitely a really good way to use a cut apart, especially if it's got things on it or phrases on it that aren't going to work. I could have trimmed down these cut aparts, the ones on the top, but I actually decided instead, first I'm going to scuff them up with my Tim Holtz Distress tool. And I have been using that on almost every layout these days, it seems, at least every other. So I get that scuffed up, and then I'm going to set those aside while I decide what I want to do. And I'm going to do my ink so that it could dry a little bit before I finish building my layout. So I start with the Lucky Clover, and I tap it into a diagonal from the bottom up to the top. And I really do like that. And when I go to dry it up a little, I intentionally have those little trails, lighter trails. And then I pull from my stash my shimmer spray by Delusions, Diane Reilly's Lemon Zest. I mean, come on, you all. I had to. It was meant to be on this lemonade stand layout. Now, my plan for that cut apart right there, that border, is to put it down on this page. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it across the bottom, and then I'm going to have the picture and the two cut aparts right across the top of it. I mean, that's where I'm going. So I ink up this first cut apart with yellow, and then it's like I'm instinctually just put it down right here. I'm not sure if there was a reason, if my brain had an idea that I don't know about. But honestly, I decided I was going to make this diagonal, and which I find funny since I've already made the diagonal with the inks the other direction. So, and I'm just thinking, okay, is this going to work? Am I going to be able to get this down and make it fit to where I'm not covering too much of something up? And also this white, like wood grain looking cut apart that I'm using is going to disappear to the page. So I get out my one of my newer, most favorite colors, Uncharted Mariner, and I ink the sides because it's very similar to the tealy color that is in this collection. I mean, very similar. And it is on this cut apart that says Good Day Sunshine. The inside of that little banner is pretty much the same color. So because I've done this isn't going to work for me to put this across the bottom. So I decided I'm going to fussy cut them out. So this is where the whole fussy cutting begins. And like I said, my plan was to use this layout for scraps later in the month. But hey, you know what? It's fine. So I also ink the outside of these lemonade stands. And the yellow one, I don't ink with the yellow. I actually ink that with the Uncharted Mariner so that it'll stand out a little bit. And then I start fussy cutting the lemons out, which was another thing. I thought I'd tuck this paper underneath as a layer. And when that didn't happen, because of the way I laid these pictures down and used those cut aparts, I decided I'd fussy cut these lemons. And there's sliced lemons and then there's whole lemons. And I just fussy cut all the ones that I feel like I can use. And so they're just sitting over there. And then I pull out this little piece of paper that was left over that has some of the lemonade stands. And I just tuck that in underneath it. I ink around the sides with the yellow with that squeeze lemonade. Gosh, can't get my words out. And then I ink the bottom with the Uncharted Mariner so it'll stand out a little bit more. And then I'm going to take two of those fussy cut lemonade stands, the yellow and that darker blue, and I'm going to put them up on Fun Foam and put them over top of two of the lemonade stands on that piece I just tucked in there. So it gives a little bit of dimension. And I got this idea from watching Ronnie Sue. I think it was yesterday I watched her, maybe with a scrap timber layout. And she was doing lockers at the bottom of her page, and she popped some up on foam, and it was such a neat dynamic and added so much to the layout. And so I liked that idea. So thanks, Ronnie Sue. That's why I love watching these videos. Things, come to me and I'm like, oh, that's such a great idea. And then later I think, oh, I saw that on Ronnie Sue, or I saw that on here or on there. I saw somebody do that. And sometimes I can't remember who it is, but I do remember that it was Ronnie Sue, and she was using, it was the all booked up hop that we did on the 3rd. I had to think about what day it was. So I just tucked these other two little lemonade stands in behind the little cut aparts. And then I'm going to pull my sticker sheet out. And I thought I could use a few more things on here, but really, I pull out the lemonade stand, which is so cute. But it's going to leave this huge weird gap right here. I'm going to take care of that, but it's just so strange looking right now. I'm like, what am I doing here? But then when I add the lemons and stuff, it definitely helps. But, I don't want to add the strawberries because that doesn't make any sense to me. I do add this fan because it was uber hot outside. It was in September, but it was pretty warm. And it was funny because my son had decided to make a lemonade stand to raise money for his school. And my nephew was at my mom's house that day and decided that they would do it together because they both went to the same school at the time. And so my sister and my daughter and my niece went down the end of the street with signs. And so people were coming off of the main street to come down our little cul-de-sac to get this lemonade that the kids had made. So they made like, I don't know, $50. Now it helps that my dad's best friend was coming over to visit on this day, to see my mom, and he left a very large tip. Good old Uncle Jimmy. So anyway, their money was going to the school, and they were earning little prizes, but they were really excited about giving money to the school to help. I can't remember what it was they were raising money for at the time, a computer lab or books. I can't remember. So anyway, I pull this Sweet Rush stamp set out, and I want this little notepad. It is so cute. And I'm laying down a little piece of just some acetate down there so that I don't get the inking on top of the Good Day Sunshine. And I'm just putting that little top part of the notepad because it's going to give me a couple of lines to write a little note. And then I put in that squeezed lemonade, I put the story. And it's hard to see, from this distance, but up, when you're looking at the scrapbook, like if you were looking at it, then you would be able to see that it says the story. And it's just a very short story. I mean, I could have gone into more detail, but since I didn't have enough space, I just wrote that Jameson and Noah raising money for their school. And Jameson has a book, and I also have a book all about the cousins, and it has a whole lot more detail about the company that they were doing the fundraising through and what they were raising money for and the prizes they won and stuff like that. So that is it. I really do love the way this turned out. It's such a bright and cheerful layout. I pretty much have used everything but a handful of scraps and a dozen stickers off the sticker sheet, and I plan on using some of those up maybe with Stash Dive Tuesday. You might be seeing these again, another layout very soon. We shall see. So I hope you will go below to the playlist, because the playlist has hundreds, I'm sure by now, of amazing videos. So you can watch some other scrapbookers and creatives and see what they are doing today with fussy cutting. So, and hopefully you'll come back tomorrow for day number 7 for Scrap Timber 2022. I hope to see you then. Have a great day and happy scrapping.